Hi, welcome back to Hydonso region. My name is Mads and I've created Pokemon ever since I was 5 years old. Join me today to create my regional bugs. Starting out today is the LARVOINK line. It's the regional bug Pokemon and it's actually a line that I've already remade in 2021. But I wasn't satisfied with it, so we're gonna remake it again. We're gonna mix a pig with a larva, specifically the dung beetle larva. LARVOINK was first made in 2001. It was pretty much a green weedle with a pig nose, and over the years it went through different changes, gained some ears, lost its horn, etc. Even gained electric type in 2005. But it changed a lot in 2021 when I decided to make the line a beetle rather than a generic bug. This is where it became a ground type, taking on even more attributes from a pig. However, I wanted to recreate and change it back to somewhere in between 2001 and 2021. The current design is very much inspired by how dung beetles looks, having legs in the front and no legs further down its body. And they often lay around eating, crawled up into a ball. So I was like, yo, that's perfect. This is exactly what I wanted to do. LARVOINK, the pig larva Pokemon. Bug type, ability Earth Eater and Poison Point. Hidden ability Gluttony. Dex entry, LARVOINK spends all its time eating. It protects itself from predators using a strong and pleasant smell. This allows it to take its time while eating even more. If it needs to move, it prefers to cling to its tail and roll around. For its shiny, I decided to reference its colors from 2001 and make its mod golden, which will make more sense when you see its evolutions. LARVOINK will evolve at level 15 into POOINK, and POOINK is literally shit. It's based on pigs rolling around in the mud, but also the dung itself. It is the shit. However, POOINK had a rocky, or would I say, quite a transformation over the years. Starting out in 2001, basically being Kakuna, and it didn't really change or become its own thing before 2005. And elements from its 2005 design I reused in 2021. But that's when I got the idea to make the whole line Dung Beetle, and I decided to make POOINK the dung itself. I was debating if I should make it a ground type or a poison type. Then I remembered a new ability introduced in Generation 9, Earth Eater, and making it a poison type will give it a huge advantage because now it's immune to ground type, one of its weaknesses. And here you have it, POOINK, the EXCREMENT Pokemon, bug poison type, ability Earth Eater and Poison Point, hidden ability Weak Armor. Dex entry, POOINK is unable to move much on its own. It depends on RYPIGEETLE to push it around. It constantly eats while being rolled around. The bigger it gets, the stronger it will become when it evolves. It has an awful smell, giving it no natural enemies. There's a legend that the one that finds a golden POOINK will eat well for the rest of its life. And of course, the shiny is based on golden poop itself. What do you think about POOINK? Isn't it cute? You probably would not want to hug it, but I loved its design. And POOINK will evolve at level 25 into RYPIGEETLE. RYPIGEETLE is based on a wild boar, a rhino, because, you know, again, beetles often references to rhino, and rolling dung around. The two beetles you see on the screen, in the middle of the screen, is the rainbow beetle, which is actually a form of dung beetles, and they have differences in their sex. The male has a horn, the female doesn't. And guess what? We gotta do the same for this line. In 2001, RYPIGEETLE was basically Beedrill, a bad Beedrill, and then it evolved and it got Beedrill with a pig nose. And even in 2005, though looking more like its own Pokemon, it still does Beedrill with electrical wings and antennas with a pig nose. But in 2013, I got the idea to change it into a beetle. The thing was, as cool as its design in 2021 ended up being, it didn't look intimidating enough. and I want to change that. I just started drawing RYPIGEETLE out of a little bit of frustration over the other Pokemon in this video. So one of the ideas that I felt like didn't work out in its 2001 design was that I wanted to roll POOINK around, and it needed something to actually do that. I wanted its claws or horns to be bigger to be able to push it around. I wanted to look intimidating. I created a few Pokemon in this region that is quite tough, so I felt like RYPIGEETLE needed to stand up to that standard that I now have, and I like it a lot. I think it shows my growth in designing Pokemon. And of course, for a shiny, it needs to be golden, referencing all the different colors a beetle can be, and I have the golden theme throughout this whole line. RYPIGEETLE, male, the dung beetle Pokemon, bug, poison type, ability, Earth Eater and Poison Point, hidden ability, battle armor, dex entry. Male RYPIGEETLE spends most of its time rolling POOINK around. They work hard to impress the female with the biggest POOINK. A male who has won a female's heart protects her and the nest to death. Using their wings, it creates a strong vibration that makes other Pokemon stay away from their nest. What do you think? I'm so happy with how it turned out. I think it looks so much more intimidating. And yes, I imagine this thing being able to fly a little bit as well. RYPIGEETLE female, the dung beetle Pokemon, bug poison type, ability Earth Eater, dex entry. Female RYPIGEETLE dig nests and take care of the young. They roll food and other materials which are used for the nest. The most impressive nests will be the most attractive to males. It can bury 250 times its own mass in one night. As you can see, the female RYPIGEETLE doesn't have a horn, and it closely resembles the design I made in 2001, and that's on purpose, though it's still a bit more bulky than it was back in 2001. So what do you think about RYPIGEETLE? So here we have them: LARVOINK, the pig larva Pokemon, POOINK, the excrement Pokemon, and RYPIGEETLE, the dung beetle Pokemon. Both male and female. Which one is your favorite and why? Personally, I like POOINK the most, but I'm so happy with its new design. It's so much closer to what I had in mind when I tried to create them in 2021. This one gonna be rather interesting because it will evolve once, but its final evolution had 3 different stages. In 2003, I created this little sleeping bag worm, and after playing Scarlet and Violet, I got the idea of actually making a backpack or tent and sleeping bag Pokemon, and of course it was too good to be true. The tent moth larva, you see the tent moth in the end of the screen, and on top of the screen you see the larva. It looks like a sleeping bag, and here we have it, KRYPINBAG, the sleeping bag Pokemon, bug type, ability overcoat, hidden ability shed skin, dex entry. KRYPINBAG has been modified over time. It looks very different from how it used to. It used to be modified for the benefit of humans. They can be found in many different colors. Its sheddings become perfectly usable sleeping bags. Some colors can only be found in the Hydonso region, making KRYPINBAG a very popular Pokemon among travelers. And as you can see, it's a very large boy. Very big one. For its shiny, I decided to make it almost albino, referencing its time in the lab. Often we see lab rats being albino, so I was like, okay, let's do the same here. And its evolution will look really cool as well. It will have different forms, or different colors that is, that you can collect in the game or in the region. And of course each one of them will have a different colored evolution. Including the shiny, it will be 6 different colors. KRYPINBAG evolves at level 12 into MOTHATENT. And MOTHATENT is of course based on the tent moth. I wanted it to have 3 different forms. The idea is that it will have a backpack form that is roaming around, being all packed up. In battle, it will take a form where it's unpacked but not yet formed into a tent, and its final form will be a tent, and this will work very much like Aegislash. It will use the stance change ability and it will work the same way, switching between the tent and the unpacked form. Let's have a look. Originally, Tentamoth wasn't a moth at all. It was a ladybug and a snail. Quickly abandoned that when I wanted to remake it and decided to make some cute fairy cloth Pokemon. But I couldn't get it to be the way I wanted it to, and I tried out different designs. I tried to push it around, making things more extreme, but I still didn't like it. After some time looking around for references, I found the game Journey, a beautiful looking game. I really wanted to play it for a long time, but I loved how the main character looked and decided to take inspiration and play around with its concept. And I ended up with something pretty cool. MOTHATENT, backpack form, the 10th moth Pokemon, bug steel type, ability overcoat and hidden ability unpack. Dex entry. MOTHATENT wander around the region. They have lost its ability to fly and no longer are territorial thanks to human modification. They have become an icon for adventure, therefore they are very popular Pokemon among trainers and travelers. Just like its pre-evolution, MOTHATENT comes in many colors for human use and amusement. A shiny looks like Dracula almost, or lack of colors. I thought it would be really cool. Its hidden ability is unpack. It works much like the transform ability that Ditto has, that upon battle it transforms into its unpack form. They also have a move called unpack, which makes MOTHATENT backpack form transform into its unpack form. And just like its pre-evolution KRYPINBAG, it too also have different colors. Just like KRYPINBAG, MOTHATENT also comes in different colors and takes inspiration from the different colors often used in The Legend of Zelda and the primary colors, with 2 extra brown and the shiny gray. And as you can see, all of them has different backpacks depending on how it needs to look when it's unpacked, which took some time to figure out. Let's go to its unpacked form. Originally, I did not plan for it to have 3 forms, but when I got the idea that, hey, what if it actually unpacks and it can use this in battle, it will be looking really cool. And after so many hours trying to figure out the patterns and how it should fold and how it would look between the different forms, I finally ended up with something that I was happy with. But it took a long time, and it is the reason why this video took a little bit more time than it usually takes. MOTHATENT, unpack form, the 10th moth Pokemon, bug steel type, ability stance change. Dex entry. When MOTHATENT unpack, it turns into its unpacked form. This is the form it usually takes when it takes battles seriously. Its pattern on the cloth-like wings terrify most Pokemon. It uses its band to slay its prey. Many trainers think this Pokemon is creepy. If they only knew its original form before human modified it, they would think that this form is cute. And here we have all the colors of the unpacked form, and as you can see on the inside, the colors used there is the colors that is used in the packed form, and the colors outside are the one that will be used for its camp form that is coming up. But which one of these are your favorite? I really like the camouflage one, but my favorite one is the green and red, or green red one. For the very beginning of the 10th form, I knew I wanted to be inspired by the Native American tents, and so I did. This one was the easiest to create. Once I figured out all the colors and all the patterns, it was just bang there. MOTHATENT, camp form, the 10th moth Pokemon, bug steel type, ability stance change. Dex entry. When MOTHATENT fully assembles, it takes its camp form, a completely functional tent that can easily be used in most situations for trainers and travelers alike. This form boosts MOTHATENT defense. There were some complaints that MOTHATENT looked too creepy and people didn't like to look up at it while sleeping. MOTHATENT now has his body covered up. As a result, a huge increase in sales happen. And here they are, all the different colors for the tent or the camp form. Which one is your favorite now that you've seen all of them? I still like the green and red one. That's why it's the main one I show off. Let me know in the description below. And here we have them all. KRYPINBAG. They've also level 12 into MOTHATENT. And then they can go back and forth between the UNPACK form and the camp form. And of course, it takes the camp form when you are outside. I think this is quite a cool concept, and I think Game Freak hopefully experiment with something similar in the future. Because there's so many ways we can take this whole camp thing, right? And making a Pokemon just based on the camp, I think will be really, really cool. And I really love how MOTHATENT, especially the backpack form, ended up. I think it looks super cool and something that you can easily see wandering around like pretty much everywhere. And here are all the Pokemon in this video. Which one is your favorite and why? Mine, it must be POOINK. I love POOINK. And for the next video, we have a few Pokemon that I've already remade in 2001, plus a few new ones. So what do you think this Pokemon will be based on? As usual, let me know in the description below. And for the next video, we have a few Pokemon that I've already remade in 2001, plus a few new ones. So what do you think this Pokemon will be based on? As usual, let me know in the description below. Thank you so much for watching my video, I really appreciate it. So make sure you give it a like and subscribe for more Pokemon coming your way. And while you're at it, why don't you check out my previous video where I made sleep paralyzed demon Pokemon. I think you will like it. And in the meantime, check out my social media for more or my other channels. Thank you so much for watching. Mads out.